Okay class, today's lecture we're going to talk about the Langstroth Hive, invented by Lorenzo Langstroth. Now this is the hive that is predominantly used across the world for industrial beekeeping. So what he did in 1851, he discovered bee space. That is, the space at which bees will not fill their hive with wax or propolis, okay? And that is like, it's 5/8 to 6 to 8 millimeters. That's the space in which bees like to leave between their wax combs so they can walk around. All right, so what Dr. Langstroth did was he discovered that if you build a hive that you leave bee space all the way around, they won't seal it. Then if you provide them frames in which to build and draw their wax, you can remove those frames and inspect a hive. All right, so this allowed us to not only to manage our colonies much better. So now we can remove these frames, look at the honey, we can look at the babies, we can look at their food stores, we can look at everything. It also allows us to take the lid off easily, take the bottom boards off easily, to clean off those dead bees in the wintertime, or in the springtime, for example, or take top off and put in disease treatments, which we'll discuss later in the course. But this hive, with the removable frames, gave us the freedom to do all these things. All right, now let's go over our typical Langstroth hive. All right, let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Usually they're sitting on some kind of stand or base. You know, it's best if you keep them 18 inches off the ground. This will prevent many of our smaller mid-ranged predators from getting to them. This keeps the skunks out, for example. This makes it very difficult for raccoons and badgers to get at it. So some kind of stand is always nice. And then we have a bottom board. The bottom board will have an insert, and we'll discuss how to use this insert later in the course. Then we'll have a hive body in which the honeybees are expected to lay their brood. And then we'll have a queen excluder, which keeps the queen down here and keeps her brood down here so she doesn't lay her brood in these honey supers. All right. After the honey supers, we have a lid. Now this one has a telescoping lid and an inner cover. If you use this system, you must use them both together because bees will seal it down so tightly that you cannot get this telescoping lid off unless you use this inner cover, okay? So if you have this system, use both of them at all times, all right? There's also a pollinator's lid that doesn't have this inner cover system, and you can use either one you like. Again, with most equipment, whatever you like best and you can afford, okay? So that's our Langstroth hive, the one used by most beekeepers all over the world. And you can see that between each frame is bee space, between the frames and the hive body itself is bee space, and in between each hive body, between the top bar of this hive body and the bottom bar in this hive body, there's also bee space. So not only can we take the frames out, but we can remove these hive bodies without affecting the rest of the colony, okay? So make sure that you understand all the parts of this thing, and I have also attached at the bottom of this page a picture that labels these parts as well. All right? If you have any questions about the Langstroth hive, please direct them to the forums.